Hi and good evening. My name's David, and we are once again meeting up to play Tales from the Low Countryfs. Tales from the Low Countryfs is a Powered by the Apocalypse game of kind of coming of age in a hearth fantasy world, so a sort of lower magic, more folkloric type fantasy setting. This game is by Luke Jordan of Wildwood Games. The game is currently in playtest, so what we're playing at the moment won't necessarily represent the finished product, as it were. However, I still think it is a very solid game in its current state. So I enjoy running it. That's what we'll be playing this evening. This game was arranged through the Gauntlet, which is an online role-playing group. We get together and play games like this online. We also have a gaming magazine called Codex, which has just had a new issue released. We have a number of podcasts. You can check those out. And some other games that we release as well, including Brindlewood Bay, which is currently on Kickstarter at the recording of this episode, if you want to go check that out. You can find information on everything that we do at gauntlet-rpg.com. I'll put a link to that down below. So last time we introduced our characters, which we will be doing in a second to one another once again. We also constructed the village that you all live in, which is the village of Long Hill, which is up on sort of moorland. There's a big chasm nearby with an old, supposedly haunted bridge across it that people are somewhat wary of. Though as we visit this village, it is springtime. The spring celebrations are in swing, which includes is the customary time of year to get married. There are a group of traveling performers who have visited the village at this time. There is, and where we saw all of our characters last time as we left off, was at like the engagement party, essentially, for two of our characters' siblings who are getting married respectively. I'm going to ask each of you to just introduce yourself and give a brief introduction again to your character. Then we'll get started, basically. So I'll go through in character keeper order. So starting with yourself, Anders.
Yeah, I'm Anders. I use the he, him pronouns. I'm playing Jack, also he, him. He is the Blade. So he's a bit of a tough guy, though he's not really. He's good at protecting people, but I don't think he knows that yet. He's we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it was my older brother who was getting married.
That's correct. That's correct, I believe. Yep.
Yeah. And I've had some awkward interactions with one or two of the other characters. We'll see how that goes.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And next, Dana.
Hi everyone, I'm Dana, pronounced she, her, and I'm playing Celine, also she, her. And my playbook is The Door. My character is mostly just a child with very big imagination and some weird stuff happening to her. And if I remember correctly, I danced with Shaq last session, and mostly was worried about my big sister marrying and leaving me alone.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. And next, Stephen.
Yeah, hey there. I am Steven, he, him, and I am playing Orin, he, him. Orin is, I think, the oldest of the bunch here, at 16, and is the loom. The last time we saw Orin, I opened with the first die roll of the run to be immediately shot down by this boy I have a crush on. Yeah, so that's I mean it's really just going back to my own youth, really.
Excellent. Indeed. And last but not least, yeah, Paul, if you would like to introduce yourself and who you'll be playing tonight.
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Paul. He, him. I'll be playing Glenn. Also, he, him. He is the second oldest of the group by just 1 year. He is the cloak playbook. Last time we saw Glenn, he was just trying to have a relaxing time in a tree, taking food from this wedding that was happening nearby. And while he was in the tree, he kind of just watched his friend Orin kind of just flub a conversation with the dude. And now is just trying to console his friend as best as possible with some stolen pie.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah. So the moment we left things last time is pretty much, I think, where I'm going to go back to. So yeah, there's this this party going on in I believe Jack's family's barn or some other building on their farm. There was food and drink and dancing and all the other stuff you might expect. However, at the where we left off last time, Celine's sister Deirdre was dancing with Bradwin, Jack's brother, and people were obviously paying attention to them. They are the couple soon to be wed. But things started to get a little intense. The way Deirdre was dancing, and the way people were looking at her, sort of almost like transfixed, is unusual. There's something not quite right. I think that feeling is very much coming across. I think certainly Celine, to you at this time. What do you think?
Yeah. Think I'll turn to one of the others. Who do I think would know? Maybe anyone. Celine is nearby. So,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll ask her. It's her sister as well. So I think I'll ask her. Is she? I don't remember her usually being like this. Is this this normal?
I'm sorry, I didn't listen to David introduction for a bit. So you're asking me about what? Sorry.
No, that's okay. So the way, so at the beginning, at the end of last session, where Deirdre was like dancing in a kind of increasingly what's the word I was looking for? Sort of she's dancing well, but in a sort of unusually graceful and way it's not really like the way she usually moves. And it seems to be everyone seems to be kind of focusing on her in a slightly unusual way.
All right. Yeah. I think I will said to Shaq, like she doesn't usually dance like that. Do you think your brother seems fine?
Yeah, I'm sure he's enjoying it. I mean, not like I mean, she's dancing very well, but like everyone's looking like it's strange, isn't it?
Can I try to approach her? Like maybe if we are dancing with Shaq, like maybe we can, like, I don't know if all people are dancing around them or it's mostly like a dance just for the grooms.
So people were dancing around them, but you'll have noticed that the people sort of dancing, the other people dancing as well, seem to sort of be stopping what they're doing and turning to look as well. But yeah, you can definitely kind of move past them. They don't really seem to be doing anything to stop you or be particularly noticing you as you kind of start making your way through the crowd.
Do I notice anything weird about them, like when we are next to them?
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to double check your... I think that this is... I think probably at the moment this is give your attention. So that is a roll with caution. So depending on how well you roll, you will be able to ask one or more questions from the list. Oh yeah, no, I did link the dice roll, I think. But if you want to roll physical dice, that's cool as well.
I got it. I already rolled. It's a 4, so that's not great.
Starting as we mean to go on. So what I am... Oh, technically, that I should have done this before the roll, but I will let you do this retroactively because I haven't introduced this mechanic yet. There is a mechanic called Turn to Your Peers, which is when you turn to a peer to back you up before you roll, say what support you want and ask if they'll give it. If they agree, you treat any miss on the move you roll as a 7 to 9 and any 7 to 9 as a 10 plus. But during that move, they must choose one. So because I feel like you were working together there, do you want to ask Jack for help, Celine?
Sure.
And Jack, do you think you're happy to help in this situation?
Yeah, I think I'm following Celine, and I'm also like trying to watch Deirdre's reactions and see how she reacts.
Cool. That's perfect. So we'll come back to what you have to do in a second. But first, you get to ask 2 questions, Celine. So the list is: how can I get to the bottom of this? Who's in charge here? How long have things been like this? Who here is in trouble? How can I help blank? What should I be afraid of? And how can I protect myself? So you can ask 2 of those questions.
What should I be afraid of?
Yeah, so I think as you get closer to your sister, you feel something wrong, something alien. I haven't really asked you yet about you obviously have a connection to Kundry and to the 7 Doors. When do you think you first realized about that connection? Or how much? Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
And I think like very recently, like I think I found my key, and I'm just like finding things like in dreams and in like having visions of these doors and their powers, and like I don't think I'm actually successfully use what I can do before. I'm just like in that stage of discovering.
Excellent. So yeah, and in which case, yes, I think there's definitely that feeling you've occasionally had in dreams, and you can feel almost like a void or a pull, something in kind of your sister's like aura. And I think to the sum up of that is that the thing you should be afraid of is whatever has possessed your sister.
I was thinking and asking how could I get to the bottom of this, but I think being my sister, the most important thing to me is how can I help her. So that's my second question.
Yeah. So I think perhaps the most obvious answer is you do need to get this thing out of her. You get the feeling this is not going to be easy. That there's a force or a power touching her that's much stronger than you, but you might be able to suppress it or bind it for a time if you reach out to one of the doors. That might allow you to kind of at least temporarily break its hold over her.
So the Door of Bones, it says, say which spirit you summon or which you banish. Do you think this is a spirit that can be banished?
Yes, yes. I think you could banish it, but you said probably only for a time at the moment until you
Sure.
learn more about it. But yes, you reckon you could.
Right, so I would like to do that, to use my conjurer move.
Yeah, excellent. And we'll come back to that in one moment. Oh, actually, sorry. The first thing before we get into that. So I always have to read through this move to remember which order it goes off in. So when you turn to page back for rolls, they'll give it if they agree. Yes. So Jack, you can choose to either worry, upset, or outshine Celine, in which case you mark where, or you can choose to become shaken to tired or hurt and take a point of wear yourself.
Yeah, I think Jack is really, when he realizes there's spirits and things involved, he gets really scared. This is dangerous stuff. So I'm going to take a point of wear.
Awesome. And yeah, this is something that for the feeling you're getting, this kind of pull, this like almost like vortex like pull, is probably even more noticeable to Jack, because this isn't you don't have that same connection to the strange magics of conjury that Celine does. So while this is uncomfortable for her as well, there's also a level of familiarity, even if she's still a little unsure of what it all is going on, I think. So yeah, that's cool. But yeah, I will break over to Oren and Glyn for a moment. So yeah, I think last time we left the two of you, you had been sharing some stolen pie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I wonder if there's anything else you wanted to be getting up to.
I think Glyn would say, so I can like approach the performers under the guise that I want to learn some instrumentation. And then that way, if you want a second shot at talking to the guy, it's a solid excuse. Like you just happen to be there, you know. Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking, I suppose we could try that. I don't know. I tried talking to him now, and I just don't know if you distracting everyone else would help, but
Okay. And
I mean, we can try that though.
Yeah, distraction. Everyone here. I can do that.
I
mean, if you wanted to go straight for like plan C, I'm totally fine with that. I thought we were gonna go like A, B, and then me, but this is fine. And Glyn will go off and see.
I think Glyn is already gone by the time I'm saying this.
Mm-hmm. Is the sister dancing with anyone right now, or is she just dancing by herself?
So yeah, I think at the point that you kind of look into the room, Yeah, she is dancing with Bradwen, with Jack's brother. Though she's very much he's almost doing little more than kind of just stumbling around after her, certainly in contrast to the way that she's dancing. And like I said, yeah, people, all eyes seem to be on her at the moment.
Yes. Then Glyn will just slink through the crowd, appear next to the couple, and very loudly just goes, "Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like a dance?" And like bow very lavishly.
Excellent. So I think what I'm going to ask you to do here,
I think Oren's face is just in the palm of his hand at the moment.
Which move is asking someone to dance? I'm not really sure.
So, yeah, I keep flicking between the tab. Yeah, so I think this will be. Yeah, I think this is probably actually because she is perhaps, you know, on the younger side of being an adult, but is still an adult. Yes. I think this is going to be stand fast. Which is when you stand fast against your fear or an adult. Roll with courage.
Okay. I have a straight roll on that. It's not too bad. All right, let's see how well this goes. Ooh, I got a 10.
A 10, perfect. So yeah, I think is on a 10 plus, you steel your nerve and wrestle down your terror, and the chronicler will present an opportunity that your calm reveals to you. So I think there's a moment when Deirdre stops dancing for a moment. She releases Bradwen's hand and turns to you and says, "You." And she, I think she laughs as well, and it's a pretty laugh, and it does sound like her, but also there's just something else to it. Like you can almost hear like the chiming of bells in the back of your head as she laughs, and she says, "You are bold, aren't you? Very well. I admire boldness, little one."
There's a moment where I turn around to Oren and just like give it the thumbs up. It's like something like go. And then I will step forward.
And there's that moment, I think, when she's stopped dancing, where people do that kind of almost like, you know, shaking their heads and kind of not exactly coming to themselves, but at the same time they're also still kind of, everyone's been drinking and enjoying the stuff anyway, so it's not, there's just that sort of moment of like hesitation and fun, and then there's kind of a, you know, a roar of cheers and you know, people raising their cups and stuff as she takes your hands in hers and begins to dance again. And yeah, I think while this is going on, this is probably a good point to go back to you, Celine, and see if you are able to draw on your power of conjury to momentarily banish this thing, that is the spirit. So the conjurer move is when you open a door and let its power flow, say which door you unlock and roll with resolve. So I think the one you said you wanted to use was the Door of Bone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'm like, we approach like dancing with Shaq, so I think I let go of one hand of the hands of Shaq, and I took my key. I think I have it like hidden under my dress, Like I don't think of it as like actually looking like a key. I think of it like maybe a carved stone.
Cool.
And I think I hold it, and with the other hand I squeeze Shaq's hand because I'm not sure what's going to happen next. And yeah.
Cool.
So let's try to banish that spirit, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Says I have to roll plus resolve, so +2. Yeah, it's a 7.
7. That's okay. So on the 79 hit, your will is done. You will be able to banish the spirit. But the options available to you here, you can choose one of the door swings wide open and the effect spreads to other targets. What this is likely to mean in this situation is it's probably going to have some kind of temporarily adverse effect on the people around as their kind of souls are briefly troubled. The door opens only a crack and the effect is weak or will not last long. Or another door cracks open of its own accord. You choose which one, and that will have some sort of effect depending on which door you choose.
I think for this one, the doors opens only a crack. Makes the more sense. Like the spirit will go back.
Yeah, excellent. So I think as you kind of as you open the door, I think there is just a moment. It's almost that, like, it's almost the same sort of pull that you felt from your sister. There's that moment of almost like vertigo as the door opens, and there's a sound like dozens of people all cracking their knuckles at once, sort of popping noise but you will see, and I think you actually see just a slight shimmery, silvery presence just like lift for a moment, sort of off of your sister. She stumbles a step in her dance, and Glyn, you will definitely notice that she really does have a sort of moment of like looking like she's waking up from a dream, and she was like, Glyn,
are you okay?
I don't know. Perhaps I've had a little too much to drink. Yes. And she'll sort of put a hand on your shoulder to kind of steady herself a little, but she will kind of give a slightly faint smile to and the other people at this point are kind of looking and I think Bradron will step forward as well and offer his arm to her.
Mm-hmm. I will help them like lead her to like the side of the dancing area, but like away from the performance troupe, as to add to the distraction.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think with that, yeah, Oren, how are things going for you at the minute? What are you up to whilst all of this is going on?
So, Oren wasn't here for most of the dancing, so I don't know if Oren is necessarily aware of the strangeness of anything going on. I think that like when Glyn is like mouthing go, like Orin is just mouthing back, what? Like this was your plan? And like, but then I kind of like am trying to move by surreptitiously. I'm probably very obvious. And like probably as like this, I assume like once like she kind of falls over a little bit, faints a little bit, that probably the music's stopping around now anyway.
That's right. Yeah. There will be a brief break in the performance as all this is kind of going down.
Yeah, I probably then will go to, oh man, I'm forgetting characters' names here. Note of it for myself.
Callum.
Yes, Callum. There we go.
It took me a bit of searching as well, but yes.
I probably will go to see Callum, and I just sort of say, hey, again.
Hey, how's it going? And you'll see as he's like putting down his violin, or at least taking it out from under his chin, that his he's clearly kind of the fingers on the one that you do the twiddly bits with, to use the scientific term, are definitely, he's kind of almost doing that, like shaking them off. The skin maybe looks like slightly blistered, or at least the beginning of blisters on there. So how's it? Sorry, I was miles away.
Yeah, I no, sorry for before. I should have waited until things were over, and I kind of glance over because I don't really know what's going on. Like, I guess there was a fainting or something in my head, but I was excited to give you something back for, and I kind of like hold out my hand a little bit, and that's where we see like the bracelet I have that I think it's probably not made from anything local. Like, I don't think it's anything incredibly valuable. It's made from like maybe nicer polished stone.
Yeah, like polished stones of a variety that you don't get in these parts. Yeah. And they said, "Oh no, that's really kind of you." Yeah, and he'll sort of I think reach out and kind of sort of turn the bracelet over almost, or well, not over, but sort of almost like turn it a little and just say, "Yes, I remember it was giving you this. It was."
I mean, Orin blushes when he puts his hand onto his wrist, but okay, continue.
And he'll kind of will, at least mostly accurately name the time and or place when he gave you this bracelet.
And I guess as he's like has his hand on my wrist, I kind of so how has the road been the past year?
Always always hard, but that only makes the times we get to rest up in between all the more worth it.
Oh. Well, I'm happy to see you again. And I kind of blush a little bit more. Honestly, I made that piece just after you left, and I've kind of been waiting most of the year to give it to you.
Well, thank you for thinking of me, and I'm glad we were able to get back, and so I could get it. It's always nice and lively here around springtime.
I think probably like Oren's probably says something like yeah, my mom says that you can usually expect a crop of babies in some 9 months. And then I kind of blush deeper, and I'm like, not that that's the only thing people around here get up to in springtime. And I kind of like look down at my shoes a little bit and like scuff the floor.
Well, I can certainly think of worse ways of spending a sunny afternoon.
Oh man, I don't know if Oren is ready to to respond to something like that. I kind of give like a really timid chuckle.
Excellent.
Oh man, I don't know how Oren will end this scene. Well, maybe when you're done helping out your kin here, we could see about what there is to do around here. And I think it's definitely that strangled at the end of the sentence. Like here.
Sure. I don't know how much longer we'll be playing it. It looks like things might be winding down here soon. He's going to kind of look to where to the rest of the assembled party here and say, but yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, and I think that's probably where at least Oren would end this conversation. I think that's probably a good point to end the scene here.
Yeah, that sounds good. And I think that at that point as well is probably when
probably my pause calling, because I need to actually take a look and make certain that our thing is like improper, like it had like that it's sturdy enough to last through the wedding.
Yeah, excellent. And then and I think that the band will start probably playing something now, maybe more of there'll be a singer up, and singing more of like a kind of ballad or similar, rather than dancing music sort of thing. Awesome. And so Jack, I just want to check in with you briefly. I guess I suppose this will probably be to both Jack and Zelene in some some respect. But yeah, Jack, do you think that you felt any of the magic that Celine did, or do you think this, or what? Just in general, how do you think you are feeling at the moment? What's your kind of experience of all that's going
on? Since Celine was actually holding his hand, I think he felt something like a gust of wind or something when this door opened. He didn't see anything, and but he had that sensation of something shifting. And I think he wants to check on his brother to make sure that whatever this was, it didn't do anything bad to him. But obviously he can't say anything about what he thinks happened, because that would be crazy. So I think he's just going to go check on him. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
that's a move.
So you can, yeah, I think if you want, you can roll take their measure. That's more for just kind of generally finding information out about them, but that might make sense for this. But you don't have to if you just want to kind of make this more of a just an interpersonal moment. But yeah, I think Bradwin's probably stood over Deirdre, and I think I think he's probably actually like drinking something as well, but he's obviously like he's got something for maybe some milk or something for Deirdre to drink, and there's like a small crowd around them, but like Deirdre's obviously not like, doesn't seem like deathly ill or anything, so people are mostly giving her a bit of space. Celine's mum might be fussing about her a bit as well, but yeah,
if he seems fairly normal, then Jack will back off and not bother him any further.
Sure thing. So I guess I'll just throw out an open question is there anything else that anyone wants to get up to kind of in the immediate moment of the party, or shall we draw things to a close there?
I was thinking, I saw this silvery thread like emerge from my sister. Do you think I could like follow it to wherever it goes?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm just wondering what would be the most appropriate thing to do here. I'm going to say I mean, well, you absolutely can follow it. I think you can. It's difficult to make out, but you can. I think you can kind of attune to it and follow it. I think I am going to probably say that this will be. I think it will probably be stand fast, just to kind of to kind of summon up the courage to go after this thing. If you want to, obviously, if you once again want to turn to one of your peers to ask for help, you can do so. Or if you just want to sort of go off on your own, that's also fine.
I think I'm gonna go to Shaq again and like said to him like, we need to make sure that the thing that was there doesn't come back. Come on, follow me.
Oh, okay.
And like
Awesome.
I think I take his hand and like make me drag him.
Yeah, Jack will like follow in your wake.
Excellent. So yeah, you can roll with courage, and obviously you'll essentially get one result better than what you actually roll.
So that's a 9.
Awesome. So that's a 10. So that will count as a 10 plus. So you steal your nerve and wrestle down your terror. I will present you with an opportunity that your calm reveals to you. So yeah, you are able to follow this, and it is almost that kind of like will-o'-the-wisp type, just occasional flickers and gleams ahead of you in the dark as it heads out.
I think as I run with Shaq by my hand, I say, it's there, do you see it?
And Jack is like stumbling behind you and not seeing anything, but he follows along.
Excellent. And yeah, you will be able to follow it. Well, you will be able to follow it to the edge of the Witchwood. And we will, I think, take our first break there and then pick things up once we get back. But yes, you will definitely make it as far as the edge of the Witchwood, and it sort of starts to disappear in between the trees, and we'll see what happens next when we get back. So yeah, if we want to come back, we'll call it 5 past, and then we'll pick things up from there.
See you then.
Excellent. Welcome back. And so actually the very first thing I'm going to do is, because I forgot yet again, is once again, Jack, I'm going to ask, are you going to take a point of wear for your assistance of Celine, or do you somehow worry, upset, or outshine them, and they'll take a point of wear?
Ooh. I think I'm going to put a point of wear on Celine this time. But I think it's like Jack is stumbling behind her, and he kind of pulls her down or something, so she gets a bit bruised or scrapes a knee or something.
I like the idea that because you're wandering through this dark woods, that like you see like a tree, but you see it as like it's a massive monster or something in its silhouette. And then the light shines up a little bit and you see it's just a tree, but you've already like tackled Celine down to the ground.
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome. And
of course, I'm too embarrassed to say that that's what I thought it was. It's just, oh, I'm sorry, I stumbled. And
excellent. Yeah, sorry. But yeah, that's awesome. We'll come back to your exploits in the woods in a moment. I think we'll just kind of, in which case, head back to the party, and Glyn and Oren, do you think that you kind of connect back together again after your successful caper.
I think we cut back and we see Glenn doing that thing where he's like giving like small jabs to Oren's shoulder after he told him how successful he was. Like, yes, yeah, nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. And Oren is really going dry in the mouth because like I mean we'll probably just talk or something, right?
Yeah, dude, you're just gonna talk. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where do you plan on talking with him?
Oh, I have to look at our, let's see, the village.
Because there's some great talking spots in the woods if you would like to know a few of them.
I don't know why you are saying talking in that tone, but all right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Depends on the kind of place you would like to speak to him. Would you like some flowers nearby? Maybe like a comfortable tree you could both sit in for a bit, catch some shade.
All right. And I kind of like, you probably don't know this, Glenn, but I don't really know any of this romance stuff that well. And you seem like someone who maybe has an understanding of what's romantic. So what would be a romantic spot?
Here.
I'm just out of curiosity because this is Oren, like who is like level 0 on romance.
Yeah.
Where would you actually rank Glenn in actuality out of character?
Out of character, I feel like Glenn would like know all like the right mechanics of it, because at the laundry post, a lot of this stuff that people talk about is like, what's the best way I can talk to the girl I like? So just like through osmosis, Glenn has kind of just like picked it up. And I think because like his parents do it all the time, there might be like a little like it comes a little naturally to him more than others. So
right, theory, but Glenn probably ranks himself as like top 10, like 10 out of 10.
Would he rank himself? I don't think he's that kind of rogue, but he does like seeing people like end up with like the people they're like that they like. It's like he doesn't like to admit it, but like he's like his parents in that way, kind of deal. And then so Glenn would be like, "Hey, what about this? Rest of the night. Which woods did you say that Zelene and Jack?
That they've gone off to the Witchwood.
The Witchwood here. Okay. Have you ever heard of that idea that sometimes when people are a little spooked, that they can kind of confuse being scared with like more of like a like attraction, you know, kind of like enhanced emotion?
And then I like squint at him. You're not allowed to dress up as a ghost.
I'm not. No. But there are a few spots in the Eastwood, but if you would like to like add a little extra spice to it, the Witchwood, I know it's not, it seems dangerous, but there are some pretty safe spots in there that's not too far away from the village. You could take your friend to converse with?
Oh, I see. I think that, yes, okay.
Okay.
I think that should work.
All right, perfect. Let me show you the spot right now. We'll head over there and we'll just like head back to the village.
And I nod. And by the way, what I kind of didn't really catch any of that, but what happened with it was Zelene's sister. Yeah, okay. That's what I was just trying to remember. Zelene's sister.
I don't know. I felt like I was dancing pretty okay. Then she kind of just got faint. I wasn't really sure why. I mean, it's a long day. Everyone's watching you. I assume she would like, have a few just to like keep the anxiety down. Drinks. I'm talking about drinks.
No,
yeah.
I understood that.
But yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's just looking if any of my moves could kind of come up here. I don't know if I'm triggering any of those. I don't know if any of these are like concrete enough that Orin would necessarily, like any of the knowledge information that Orin has right now would necessarily be concrete enough that any of my like that I'd like turned any of my like kind of pulling on the strings of ungiven, like seeing the ungiven future.
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly if you want to go for that move, you absolutely can. That it's kind of very much there to kind of act as an augury, but yeah, you're under no obligation to do so.
No, I'm just kind of wondering because I'm just looking at some of these moves and I'm thinking about how they kind of work. And if sorry, I'm just, because some of the moves for this game are a little bit different from other PBTA games, so I'm just kind of wrapping my head around them.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Did I accidentally? Okay. No, I guess for now, like, yeah, that's probably like what I'm kind of thinking. I think that, yeah, I don't think that Orin necessarily keys into anything just here, but it sounds like Glyn, you're setting up for maybe make a difficult journey or something.
I was mostly like when we get to the forest, like towards that area, Glyn would take a moment to look out into the wilderness of the Witchwood and maybe see some tracks of footsteps going into it.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That sounds good. And I think that's a good point for us to go back over to Jack and Selene. And yes, as I say, you've just you're probably both somewhat covered in leaf mold and the like at the minute, but you can still make out, Selene, that flickering light still just some ways ahead of you now. in the Witchwood. Though yes, if you choose to follow it in, this will be making a difficult journey, essentially, as the move, which obviously either of you can take the lead on, depending on who's going to kind of do the actual leading. But yeah. So that said, do you think you are going to follow this into the Witchwood?
I think Celine is going to insist on it for sure. But I don't know what Shaq's gonna say.
Jack's going to say, but we can't go into the Witchwood, not at night. But he's definitely going to follow you if you go in there.
Of course we can with that attitude. And you trust me, we got this. We are grown. We can do this stuff.
Okay. We really shouldn't, and he'll continue to say that you shouldn't be doing this even while he's following along.
And other one, when you said that Celine is going to turn and said, "When is your birthday?"
It's in 3 months.
Great. So I'm the older, and as I'm the older, you got to follow me. I'm sorry.
And he does not accept that logic, but he's not going to protest.
Awesome. Yeah, so if you'd like to make the make a difficult journey move, which is with, I had it up a second ago, with resolve.
I can do that.
Yeah, Celine is way better at this.
I'm a resolved one, yes. 13.
Excellent. So on a 10 plus, it is it's a hard journey, so you will both mark where, but you will get to the destination, and perhaps predictably, you will follow this, and you will see the light, this kind of sparkling, shimmery light, absorbed into the hagstone, the standing stone in a clearing in the Witchwoods, and that's We'll now flip back over to the others. You with that move, I believe, Glyn, you just it's not a roll, is it? You just get to declare or get to ask a question about what you see.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I was like, what tracks can I see around me? And I assumed one of them would have been like, yeah.
You can absolutely see tracks left by Celine and Jack. You might not be able to identify them exactly, but you know it's certainly two kind of slightly younger kids. You will also see kind of the spot, because it's up towards the edge of the forest. You will see the spot where it's clear they've fallen down. There's some undergrowth and stuff disturbed where they hit the ground, but they obviously did get back up and carry on walking from that point. But you will be able to follow their tracks.
Yeah, and as he sees that spot and the tracks in the forest, he just turns to Oren and he just goes, "Yeah, see, Oren, just a little spooky night. got two people coming in here, got a little rough and tumble in the forest. Happens all the time. It's not that dangerous here as everyone else says. And I think he will look at Orin and just goes, so we could take you to that place I was talking about, but I feel like you probably want to see if these kiddos are okay, right, Orin? Just make sure they're fine.
Yeah, sorry, my headphones stopped working there for a second. No, I think Orin nods. Sorry. Can people hear me?
Yeah, I can now. You did break
Okay.
up a little for a second there, but now I can hear you now.
Yeah. I think that Orin nods and yeah, I think that well, I know this one little trick that my ma taught me for finding little ones that don't want to be found. And I think I am turning to calling on superstition. Describe the ritual or talisman and choose what it does. And I think I pull out like a little so I my speaker went out as well for a moment there. So do we know that this is Zelene and Jack's tracks, or do we know, or do we just think they're little kid? They're like kids' tracks.
Yeah, they're kids' tracks. But I think Glynn, as one of the forest people, one of the things that his trainer taught him is to look out for the people who go into the forest to make sure that they're okay. So while he is deflecting things towards Orin's like, hey, you're the responsible one, should we find this? Like, Glynn is also kind of like, it's kind of my responsibility to make sure people are safe just in case.
I think that I take out Lynn like a little like wood like figure of a person, and I like pull out my knife as well, and so this part gets a little gross, and I like cut my palm. No, everybody cuts their palm. That's a really bad idea. Don't cut your palm if you're doing magical rituals, because that will just hurt and take a long time to heal. I cut the back of my arm and smear some blood onto the figurine. I need, a little of yours too, Paul, so we don't get, I mean, not Paul, Glenn, so we don't get separated.
And Glenn would just go, yeah. And he will also proceed to cut like the back of his arm. And he goes, yeah, I don't understand why people always cut the hand. There's so many tiny parts in there that can go wrong if you just cut it the wrong way. And without really hesitating, just like does it.
Yeah. And I add some of yours too. And well, hopefully this should help us lead us to wherever the kids are at. And that's at least what I'm choosing what it does. Like it leads to like people that don't want it. It shows you the way to people that don't want to be found.
Yeah.
Sure thing. Awesome. Yeah. So if you'd like to make a roll with learning.
Yeah. Let me 2 dice. And I think my learning is one of my
And you can also as well, if you wish to call on Glyn's aid in this, because you are asking him to participate in the ritual, you may do so, but you're not required to.
Yeah, I mean, if Glyn lets me, I'm just remind myself the wording of all these moves.
Yeah, so turn to your peers is the role to gain to sort of ask someone else for assistance.
Yeah. Would you like to I guess I've said what support I want and you'll give it, but do you want that to mechanically matter here, Glyn?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll help out.
Okay. And then I still roll, but it's bumped up, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So on a regular 10, does it still happen?
Yes, it does. Yep.
Okay.
That's the kind of the only downside to the to that turn to your peers thing is it kind of is wasted if you roll well, but it's a good guarantee. So on the 10 plus, whoever taught you this was telling the truth after all. It works just as they said, but choose one. The effect is weak or limited. The effect is unreliable or short-lived. It exacts a price, mark where, or it attracts unwanted attention.
I mean, I think I like it attracts unwanted attention because it is like a ritual for like having things found. So I like the idea that it also means that you're easily found.
Sure thing. That's cool. And Glyn, you get the opportunity to choose between either becoming shaken, tired, or hurt yourself, in which case you will mark where, or you can worry, upset, or outshine Oren, in which case Oren will mark where.
I think Oren, are you cool to mark where?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think what happens is you grow worried because there's like a big change in Glyn. You've seen this a few times already, but it's never like not worrying. Whenever he steps into the forest, he looks so much more at home here and kind of has a sense of just like being further away from the village kind of deal,
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So I think that sorry, I just wanted to double check something. Yeah, so I think that as you start following the sort of the calling of the ritual, you will be following the trail, and certainly Glyn, you'll know that you are heading towards the Hagstone in a fairly direct route. But you will, again, both of you will notice, though again, possibly going just a little bit before, because you're used to this place, you can hear just every now and then you just catch that sound of disturbance in the woods behind you. Never anything major. Always just like the odd like twig breaking or similar. But you get the feeling that you are being followed by something. Whether it could be an animal, though it would be unusual for an animal to stalk you like this in the forest, especially at night and especially at this time of year. You'd expect maybe to be chased off of a den by a mother with young offspring, but this is definitely the feeling of being stalked. And we'll come back around to Jack and Celine. So you are at the Hagstone. It looks at the moment mostly unchanged. There's maybe just that very, very faint gleam to it, almost like just when you have kind of bits of quartz in like granite, and you just get that like slight sparkle coming off of it. It's a bit like that, essentially. But even in kind of the moonlight or the dim moonlight coming in through the forest canopy, you can still just see that kind of slight glitter to it. What do you do?
I'm going to look around. I'm going to use my guardian move.
Cool.
Is there an ambush or trap here?
Sure thing. Yes, is the short answer. You think just being at the edge of this clearing sets your hackles up. There's something, it's not as obvious as anything visible, but you just get the impending sense that stepping into that clearing would be a bad idea at this time. And maybe you've been here before. Some of you most certainly have. You've never. It's creepy here normally, but now it feels dangerous here.
Yeah, so I think Jack is going to like tighten his grip on Celine's hand and hold her back if he tries to go into the clearing. Wait, there's something here that's not right.
What is it?
I'm not sure, but there's something here. Maybe it's there. Give your attention, I guess. I assume this is a fraught situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that with caution, so I have a +2. An 8. So,
cool. So
let's see.
You get to ask 2 questions in that case.
What should I be afraid of is the obvious one, I think.
Yeah. the stone itself, I think, or this whatever Celine has been following, maybe, but there's the two seem to be somehow linked at the very least. But that's definitely, there's just something about the way the shadows play around the bottom of the stone. It just has a presence that that is disturbing you. And I think the other thing that I will give you is that there's just a feeling of the air in the woods seems just odd in general tonight. It's there's something is at work.
Yeah, and I think I want to ask, how can I help Deirdre? Because this is obviously connected to her in some way.
Yep. So it's almost the same answer again in some ways, but it's definitely if this spirit has retreated to the stone, it will almost certainly and this is something that Celine might sort of be semi-aware of, but if this thing can get this thing will be at some point will be able to just return to will be able to return to Deirdre, and as long as this spirit is still connected to the stone, it will just be able to keep coming back. You'll need to find something to do to this to prevent that.
Yeah, and I think Jack will go into like a long rambling story about something his grandmother told him about stones and spirits that come out of the forest, and probably things Celine already know, but now he's kind of catching up to where she is with what's going on, and but he's very very worried about approaching the stone.
I'm gonna say to Shaq, like, I'm scared too. I think this could be dangerous, but it's the only way. Like, we need to approach it. I think if we are careful and like we pay attention to what's happening around us, like we can do it.
Okay. I'll keep watch.
I think I'm gonna like take the key and with it in my hands, I'm gonna like approach the stone, and I think I'm trying to like open the door of stone, like and bind the spirit so that it can go back again to the town.
Excellent. Yeah, that sounds good. I think first, I am going to ask you to make a roll to what's the word I'm looking for? The to stand fast. That's the one. So to approach the stone as this. There is a very much a sense of impending danger to it. So I will ask you to stand fast. But yeah, if you'd like to make a roll with courage.
That's 9.
A 9. Okay, so on the 7 to 9, you barely hold it together. Choose what you lose. This could be their respect, your footing, your composure, precious time, your momentum, or anything else that you think would be appropriate that you lose in this moment. It can, like I said, it can either be something physical, it can be something emotional, or it could be whatever you think.
I think when I'm advancing, like I turn back my head and said like, Shaq, my birthday was last month. You're actually the oldest. And like I think I'm like losing my composure in this situation. Like I'm not so sure of what I'm doing anymore.
Excellent. I like it. But yeah, you can now make that conjury move as you attempt to open the door of stone.
And that's a 10.
10. Excellent. Your will is done. So I think this is actually something even Jack will kind of see, that as you place your keystone against the hagstone, it's almost like the hagstone like shifts. There's a grinding sound of stone on stone, and it looks almost like chains or veins. It's something kind of like encompasses the just like slightly raised, almost like carvings. That there are already some carvings, I think, on the hexstone, but they just shift. It's almost imperceptibly, but you can see, these like they're running almost like in a spiral pattern up the stone now, and that sense of like imminent danger just lessens ever so slightly as you as this sort of changes wrought on the stone. And I'm going to switch back briefly to Oren and Glyn. So yeah, as I said, you've become aware that there is maybe something following you, or some things or some people. It's not 100% certain which yet. Are you going to stop and try and work out what this is, or are you going to press on to find the others?
I would turn to Oren quietly. At this point, Glyn has had his bow out, is ready, and just goes, I don't know if you felt it, but there seems to be something on our tracks. Do you want me to check that out first before we catch up with whoever's ahead of us?
Do you think it's an animal or something? I think we already established that, David, right? That Glyn knows it's not.
Yeah, or Glyn at least strongly suspects it's not. It doesn't seem like animal behavior.
Yeah, Glyn will be like, yeah, Probably not. Gut tells me it's something else.
Uh, uh, well, I mean, I'm sure maybe it's just some more people coming into the woods behind us, just
Mhm.
also looking for these kids. Maybe just see who it is, and maybe we can look for them together.
Yeah. Glenn will say, do you think you can follow these tracks all the way? It seems like it's heading off to the what's it called? The Witch Stone? Hagstone?
Hagstone, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Hagstone.
I have this, but you're good with tracks, so you should be able to track me at least.
Yeah. Go ahead and find those kids. While you do that, I'll check this out. If it's probably nothing, but yeah. And he kind of just like trails off and begins to like slink into the shadows.
Excellent. Yeah, so I assume this is going to be using your like a ghost move.
Yeah.
Excellent. So you get to choose one of those options and then roll with in fact, actually, so this will be probably, I assume you find a safe place to watch unseen.
Mhm.
Seems
Yeah.
the most appropriate one here. Yeah. So how long do you watch before slipping away? No, you don't have to answer the question. That's more just a cool. That's fine.
Yeah. Mhm.
So awesome. If you'd like to roll with caution.
Yeah. And Glenn will quietly climb into a tree and look at where he feels the people were following them from. All right.
Sure thing.
My caution is +2. Nice. That is gonna be an 11.
An 11, perfect. You will be able to conceal yourself, and you'll be able to remain hidden for the moment until you do something that would reveal you. If you would like to, if you've taken any wear, you can clear one wear as well.
I'm good for now.
Cool.
Yeah.
No worries. So, and Oren, you'll be able to continue making your way into the Hagstone. I'm not going to make you make a difficult roll to you did your ritual. I will say, if Glyn, I assume you would like you'll be giving your attention to the scene to try and work out what's on your trail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent. If you would like to make that roll with caution.
Right, another caution roll. That is an 8 this time.
An 8. Okay, excellent. Yeah, so you get to ask 2 questions from that list.
What should I be afraid of?
Yeah. So yes, you absolutely should be afraid of what has been following you. There are a couple of figures as you first see them coming through the undergrowth. They seem to be people. But as they get closer, you realize that they used to be people. They are mostly skeletonized corpses in ragged, like burial shrouds that are moving through the woods. They seem to, like I said, they seem to be moving relatively carefully. They're not kind of shambling. There seems to be a sort of certain, at least, intelligence to them. But yes, those are definitely something to be afraid of. And yeah, you can ask a second question.
I guess, how can I protect myself from them?
Yeah, so you are currently you are currently safe from them. They have not spotted you, even though you're not entirely sure that they use normal senses. Normal senses to track and find people. They still don't seem to have noticed you, whether because there is some still mundane nature to their searching, or because of your particular connection to these woods. If in terms of protecting yourself from them more generally, obviously keeping your distance from them is the safest way. You're not sure how well they'd be able to climb trees. They might be able to, but they might have more difficulty with that. They definitely, like I said, they're not shambling, they're not clumsy, but they're also not necessarily the most agile of things. So that's your mobility is probably is probably the best protection you have against them.
Okay.
And I think we will briefly cut over to Celine. You will start to feel you will feel well, I'll ask you, what does it feel like when you feel the presence of death nearby? Is it something you've experienced before, or is this the first time you're experiencing it?
I think I experienced it before, like in a smaller scale, like maybe in dreams, like we were talking about, or something like that. But like I think it, like suddenly I feel cold and like shivers down my spine, and I think I turned to Shaq and said, like, there's something else here.
I told you it's dangerous.
Well, I think we did what we had to do, so we can run away now.
And I think that we'll take another quick break here and come back. And I think that last moment that we see between the Hagstone and Glyn watching these creatures sort of pass by beneath this tree is Oren, as you are making your way down the moonlit path between the two. And yeah, we'll, as I say, come back at we'll call it 5 past again, and we'll pick up there. See you all in a few minutes. So I think first I'm going to ask Glyn, are you going to keep following these the dead for now, or do you want to take some action?
I think Glyn would like to catch up with Oren so that then we can find the kids so that we can get out of like this very dangerous situation.
Sure, sure thing. I will. Just thinking. I don't think I'm going to ask you to make a move here. I'm just. No, I think that's fine. I think you'll be able to catch up to Oren without any trouble. So yeah, feel free to.
Glyn just appears from the shadows next to Oren. It goes, there's monsters in the forest. We have to find those. We have to find the kids and get out of here. You're muted.
Monsters?
Yeah.
I think Oren looks around for a moment and then is like, wait.
Come on.
Glyn, I like you as a friend, but you don't need to but please don't scare me to try to, I don't know, start something romantic.
He doesn't react. He is like in like forest ranger mode. So you look into his eyes and you're just like, Glyn is never this serious.
Okay. Actual monsters. All right. And did you say, so David, if I recall, where we framed last time, we had just seen me show up. Or did the kids spot me? I'm trying to recall.
Yeah. I think this was kind of in that you hadn't quite got to the Hagstone yet. So,
okay.
but you're close. Certainly.
Okay.
And then, and I think Glyn will just start to be like, all right, let's start making our way to them. Oren, start thinking of a plan to get us out of here. And we'll start just like leading Oren to the Hagstone as fast as possible.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I definitely go along with that then.
Cool. So I think at this point, the four of you can all come together, possibly at the Hagstone, or possibly if Jack and Zelina have just started leaving the Hagstone at some point in between. But how does that all look once you get together?
Can we all just like bump into each other?
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds good.
I feel like Glyn bumps into Jack, but Jack doesn't even like fall over. Only Glyn falls over.
Yeah, and I feel like it's definitely like if anything, I'm sure Jack thinks that there's something coming from the woods, because I still have my thick boots, which are sturdy and noisy. So I think that you hear something crashing through the woods, Jack.
And I think Jack like steps in front of Celine and is ready to protect her, and he realizes he has nothing with him that he could use to fight whatever this thing is, and maybe that's when Glyn bumps into him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he hasn't heard. He hasn't noticed him at all.
Yeah. I think Glyn was like a little shaken, so he's not like fully aware of his environment yet. To focus on what's behind him than what's like in front. So that's why he bumps in.
Jack, Celine. What what were the two of you coming out into the what are the two of you coming out into the woods for? It's dangerous out here, you know that. There's a witch out here.
Yeah, Celine saw something and it went into the forest and we had to follow it to stop it from coming back but we can go now.
That's right. We needed to bind the spirit, but now we did it, so we can go back.
Okay, well, there are apparently monsters the way we came back, so...
Yeah, he's like, Dylan starts getting up from the ground. Yeah, there's walking skeletons coming in the forest. God, Big J, you're so solid. You're built like a rock. Oh my God. And he starts getting up, brushes himself off.
Jack immediately starts I have my guardian move. What here could I use as a weapon? He's immediately going to start looking for something who could bash someone with.
Yeah, you'll be able to find a sturdy branch that's fallen from a tree, but it's obviously been like off the tree for a little while, so it's actually quite solid rather than being kind of springy still.
Yeah. He'll grab that and not like brandish it, but he's holding it, seemingly more to calm himself than to actually use it. I mean, is there another way we can go back so we don't run into these monsters?
Yeah, can Glenn try to lead them through the forest past these guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think actually, before I have just one thought before we do that, if that's all right.
No, go for it.
I'd like to I kind of search in one of like my pouches, because I was there working. I like searched through one of my pouches, and I am just looking to pull out a I just had an idea that, having some salt on hand would be useful. Like, I don't know why. It just seemed like an idea at the time. Like maybe they'd have a shortage of like salt for cooking. I don't know. But I am looking through my pockets for that.
And I think
awesome.
Glenn will look at Celine and we'll just go, Z, do you have that giant sword you play with near the tower? That'd be really useful right now.
I don't have it with me. I'm like I point to you like I still in my dress, the fancy dress from the wedding. It's all covered in mud now. That.
Then I think Glenn pulls out a rock from his pockets, like, here.
Yeah, and I got a 9, so I need to pick one of these options. I guess it was costly because the others don't seem as useful here in the moment, or realistic, particularly the third one. Yeah, I was just like, I left some salt around in these deep woods in case I needed it. So yeah, like who could I owe this for? Like, yeah, maybe it's like not exactly, but like maybe I had taken it from some of my Pa or Ma's supply without asking.
Yeah, maybe it's like it's potentially it's like they have a stash of it for, well, I mean, probably just for cooking and preserving anyway, but maybe there's like a specific stash for some form of like purpose in the crafting. I'm not going to pretend to know if there would be, but that sounds cool. Yeah, that it's this will definitely be missed.
Yeah. And I just kind of like, when I pull the salt out, I kind of look over to Zelene and I say, Zelene, you know the old story they say about throwing salt in your footsteps so that death can't see you, right?
Yeah. Do you think that could help?
Well, we have the salt.
So I think we can try.
Do you throw it over your shoulder or under your leg? I always forget that. Or do you need to walk backwards and scatter it behind you?
Yeah, I think that's right. That sounds like it.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to again invoke another ritual here.
Absolutely, yeah, if you'd like to make that roll.
And Zelene, are you helping here?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
That's an 8. So it does what I want. But on a 10, it bumps up to a 10. So Zelene, do you outshine me or take on stress yourself?
I think I'm going to take this stress.
Okay.
Sure thing.
And I'll also mark stress this time because I think that wherever Glenn leads us, I think Orin is probably having to like walk backwards from the rest of the group, scattering the salt behind us to hide our footsteps from the dead.
Awesome. So that sounds great. And Glyn, if you can, I think this will be, I don't think you have a specific one for this. I think this will just be make a difficult journey again.
Mm-hmm. And I think Glyn will turn to Jack and be like, hey, do you remember all the things your grandpa taught you?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
And Jack just starts repeating things like, yeah, never go there, don't do that.
Perfect.
Blah, blah,
Yes.
blah.
Good. All right, you and me will lead the way. And I will I guess they choose later, but yeah. Do they choose now or after I roll?
It will be after so I think but after the roll, basically. So you ask them if they will help you before the roll, and they say whether they will or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then
So
after the
I'll
roll,
definitely help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
And that's resolve. My resolve is a pretty sure it's good. Yeah. All right. That is a good thing we got the help. That's going to be a partial success with the help.
Ooh.
It's a 6 normally.
Well, that was definitely a useful use of it there. The on a get that right, on the make a difficult journey, on a 7 to 9, it feels like there's no end in sight.
Mm-hmm.
You can either choose to push on, in which case everyone marks where twice, and make it back home, or you can pause halfway to rest.
Everyone's looking kind of rough right now.
I mean,
I
good
think-
thing I'm hiding our footsteps from the dead.
Yeah. I think Glenn would see, because like he's been leading them through like the rougher part of the forest where like there's like not normal tracks and stuff. They have to go through brambles and like climb over like large tangled roots and such. So I think Glenn would lead, once he sees everyone starting to like tire, he would lead them to like this large hollow in a tree and would be like, all right, well, everyone take a breath in here first. I'll make sure that no one comes nearby. You guys can rest in here. I'll keep watch.
Awesome. And so Jack, will you take the point of where, or will you give that to Glyn?
I think Glenn takes the
Yes.
where here because Jack, he's helping, but he's also he's really nervous and he's kind of like jumping at shadows and that sort of thing, and that gets on Glenn's nerves.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's also the stress of like Glenn it's easy for Glenn to go through the forest, but it's different leading people through a forest. He'll just be like, don't step there, don't step there,
Yeah.
real quiet here. So it's just like a lot more cognitive load than normal.
Yeah, no, that sounds perfect. That sounds perfect. So I think as Anders needs to get off soon, I think that seems like a good place to leave it for the evening as you all hunker down in this hollowed out tree to wait out the night. So thank you very much, everyone. I am going to stop our recording now.